Hello, Miss Jennifer here with 4 kids, and it is time for another mantra lesson. And as you see, look, we have done all of these, and we are now on this mantra. Now remember, a mantra is something positive that you say to yourself to help you through tough times. So today's mantra is mistakes are opportunities for learning. So a lot of times when we make mistakes, we beat ourselves up. I know I do. But the truth is, you can learn from your mistakes if you're smart. Instead of feeling bad about it, you do what you can to fix it and then learn to do things differently next time. So this is the first one I did, which what is it? Broken window. So how could that happen? That could be a mistake like, oops, accidentally hit it with my elbow. Oops, accidentally was playing baseball and put a ball through mom's window. So there's a lot of things that could be. But let's go ahead and take a look at some other ideas. Now, what I encourage my students to do, and I don't know if I've gone over this lately, is to take and make some thumbnails. Now, for this, I'm doing the picture plane that I'm going to have. So about the same way your card will be. And my first thought was spilt milk. Everyone says, don't cry over spilt milk. So I did a spilt milk one. Now, this is easy to see as spilt milk. I just looked up spilt milk clip art. But then I drew this little person. Oh, well. And then I thought, okay, what's another kind of mistake that sometimes I make? Sometimes I make a mistake when I'm drawing. So if I'm drawing when I make a mistake, all I have to do is grab an eraser. So that's another example. And then finally I thought, what's a good example that really shows that you can learn from your mistakes? Well, in this one, here I am, and I spilt the ink on my paper when I was drawing. But if you look closely here, in my mind, I think, oh, I could use that splatter as part of my art. So this is the one I think I'm going to do, and we'll try to make it kind of simple. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to set this over here. Now, if you do not have our cards, then you can just write the words on there. Mistakes are ... opportunities for learning. And I will go ahead and get started. Let me come down a little bit closer so you can see. Now, when you are drawing, you usually want to have a horizon line or a table line or the back of the room line. So this time I have a table line. And the ink is not just floating somewhere. Now, if I want to do the ink bottle, you see I can draw the top of the bottle and then the side of the bottle. Now, these are ellipses. We've worked with ellipses before. So basically, you pretend like it's still going through the other side to make it all work out. And here's my ink bottle. I'm just going to make a simple cylinder. And see, ellipse. But see, this is the only side you would see of the ellipse. And so I'm going to turn it this way, and I'm going to make a label, and I'm going to put ink so we know what it is. And then I also want a piece of paper here. So we'll think that this is my artwork that the ink has spilled on. It's going off the side of the page, but that's okay. And here's the big blob of ink coming out of the bottle. All right, now I'm going to erase that because I don't like it going off the side there. And now here I'm going to come with, I want the thought bubble to be bigger so we can see that the ink blot is going to be part of the new art design. So I'm going to pretend like this is the artwork up here, and then here's the blob of ink. We'll make that black, and then we're going to draw lines around it to say how it's beautiful now. And I'll just do a cartoon, and the cartoon is going to be looking at this. So I go from a frown to a smile. And I don't don't know. Is this a snap? Yes, a snap. Okay. Pretty easy. All right. So you can do any of these ideas, or you can have your own idea. Think of a mistake you may have made that taught you something. So one time I had a student who accidentally splattered her artwork with ink. And then I'm like, well, you can't get the ink off. Maybe just splatter the rest of it. And she did splatter the rest of it, and it was cool. It was like, had a whole nother element to it that wouldn't have been there if she hadn't made that mistake. And that's one thing I will say for artists, is that we usually will take a mistake and realize that it's just a potential for being more creative. We learn from our mistakes, and then we can do something even better the next time. Now notice when I'm doing my inking here that I don't mind changing it at all from what I had. And I'm going to make this black. And I think I'm just going to stick with marker for this. So I want to make this look special here. And here's my lovely self. I better have some ears. Have fun with it. It is your card, and it's your thinking that matters here, and your drawing. And this is called illustration. When you are trying to illustrate a concept, it's really harder than you think. Because just because you think you're illustrating it. I have students, a lot of times they'll draw something and it doesn't really have anything to do with what they say they're drawing. So you do have to usually get some feedback. Like ask somebody, does this look like spilt ink? You know? And then you can find out, because it may be. Like if I did the milk one, I had to make it a lot different because the container needed to look like milk container. And of course, then the milk would be white. But anyway, I would say that being an artist, a lot of the artists that I teach, my students, they're very perfectionistic, and they think if they don't have it exactly right, then they're not doing a good job. But the truth is that you can allow your mistakes to teach you concepts and thoughts that you might not have had any other way. All right, let me see if I can figure out how to make this go this way so that the paper is a little bit crazy, but that's all right. All right. It's coming right along. Now I'm going to write the word ink. Now remember, when you're writing a word, you got to make sure you can read it carefully. You do not have to do the ink example that I'm doing here, but you're welcome to do this one or make up your own. Now I'm going to get a thicker Sharpie to color in this black. Now the reason I do that is because it's a lot faster. If you want to, you could do it with a big fat marker. But if you have a skinny black pen to do your line work, it's better on a card this small. But anytime you can change your tools to be more appropriate to what you're trying to do, then do so. So if I'm coloring in this area, it's way easier to do with a fatter tip Sharpie, right? Now see, this looks a lot better now because it is black ink. And I think I'm going to, for added benefit, do question mark here. Yay! All right, now what do you think I got to do? You're right. I got to grab my eraser. Now, for those of you who do a lot of drawing, you might want to purchase one of these. It's called a kneaded eraser. It looks like silly putty, but it's really what artists use. Now, I can't give this to my little kids because they will play with it. But, so the thing being, you can move it around like this so you get the dirty parts away from your surface. And you can point it. So watch this. Boom. See? Easy. But for the purposes of this right here, I'm just going to go ahead and erase everything. Notice how I hold it down. And I did play around for a minute there before I started erasing because we do not want to smear the ink. And that is one mistake that I have made more than once. I get impatient. I don't wait for my ink to dry, and the next thing you know. But if that happens, what could I do? Huh? Make that smear part of my design, right? That's about the main thrust of this whole lesson. All right. So I'm going to go like this because this is the snap. And now we can do a little bit of color. I will make this go like this. And I think I'm going to use a red for this amazing artwork up here. How you like that? Pretty good, huh? And then maybe I'll go ahead and do red for the table too. Just so it'll show up. Now red is a bold color and it will show up really well. I want the page to stay white. And so instead of using brown for the table, I'm going to use red to repeat the color that I put up here. The beauty of these small artist trading cards is you can really have patience to color. And you don't have to worry about, you know, messing up because you got to be in a big fat hurry. All right, that looks pretty good. Now I think I'm going to grab a cool color. Let's see. I need a cool color, but I don't want to have a... I'm going to take a highlighter. Let's see if I get a green one. Yeah. I'm going to take a highlighter. Sometimes I don't want a dark green here because then green and red are usually the same value. So I don't really want that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to color the background of this. Now I'm going to leave the words uncovered and just color in the background with a highlighter. Now don't be afraid to use a highlighter when you need one. So you see how it's a lot lighter? It's made to be lighter because you're supposed to be able to see through it. But this way, once I get that background in there, the person's going to show up, the cloud bubble's going to show up, the word's going to show up, and the whole thing is going to look a lot more like a nice graphic design illustration. Now it looks like this is activating that red, so do be careful if you are working with two different types of material that you don't make them spread together if you don't want them to. Now if you want them to, that's fine too. All right, here we go. Now the question is, do I want that to be red? I think I do. Now in this color scheme, I only have two colors. And I think I'm going to go ahead and add some red around the border here. Just to make it look a little more together. And this is something you can play around with. Maybe I like it, maybe I don't. If I don't like it, oh well. Let's go ahead and draw the line all the way there. And I think that brings us to the end. We only have a couple of more lessons. Oh, I know what I need to do. I need to draw the ink bottle. Let's make it green. There we go. Perfect. All right. So there's our mantra card. Mistakes are opportunities for learning. And I just learned that you can mix these two without activating one with the other. So I could remember that for next time. I hope you enjoyed our lesson, and you guys have a great day. Bye.